Hi there. We have slightly long answer questions now, just a couple of them to end this geometric sequencing series. We have if the sum of the first term is 0.7 and the sum of the first two terms, remember this Sn here means the sum of n terms. So for example, n3 would be the sum of the first three terms. So if our sequence is 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, then S3 would be these three. S1 though would be what? Just simply the first term. So really they're sort of giving away that S1 is equal to 0.7, which means also that the first term is equal to 0.7. Then they give you that S2, which is the sum of the first two terms, is this. Well, if this is the first term, and this is the sum of the first two terms, then to get the second term, you would take this, 2.1, and subtract this. Because that's just the first term. The sum of the first two terms is the first term and the second term. So subtract 0.7, and we're going to get 1.4. Because this is 3 times 7, this is 1 times 7, this is 2 times 7. Decimal 7, of course. So this would be your second term. So T2 is equal to 1.4. Now we've got the things that we need often to get something else. We've got the sum. We don't need this anymore. Erase this. How do we find the common ratio? Remember, let's say this is our series here. How do we find the common ratio for this? Well, this would be 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2. But how would we find it? We take 4 divided by 2, or 8 divided by 4. So we take the second term divided by the first. So it's going to be 1.4 over 0.7. We can move the decimal over and make it 14 over 7, which is 2. So the common ratio is 2. We found nearly everything that we need now to do our final answer. So the common ratio is equal to 2. We've increased it by 2 each time. We found this information from here. We want the sum of the first 12 terms. So let's do this math over here. We want the sum of the first 12 terms, where n is equal to 12. The sum of any terms, I'm just going to give you the general sum of n here, is the first term, T1, or A for some people, times 1 minus the common ratio to the n, all over 1 minus r. Notice it's not minus 1 here, like it is when you're just simply doing the terms. Just have to remember that, or it'll be provided for you on a study sheet for your exam. I also have these for download on my website as well. Now let's take a look at this and plug this in specifically where n is equal to 12. Let's take a look at this here, and we'll make this a 12. And we have a 2, so there's a 2 there. This becomes a 2, 2 to the 12, and the first term is 0.7. Now we've got everything in here for the first 12 terms. Let's take a look at that and see what this would be. So it would be 1 minus 2 to the 12, whatever that number is, over minus 1 times 0.7. You plug this into your calculator. I would do this first and then subtract 1. Make sure you know it's negative. These two negatives, of course, will cancel each other. You're going to end up with a positive answer, which you would expect since the numbers are getting bigger, and the 12th term will obviously be a positive term. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to check my calculator, see what I get. So I got from my calculator 2866.5. Not unexpected to have a decimal because you're multiplying by 0.7. Don't forget the brackets in there. And just a quick reminder here, notice what I used for my summation equation. I used this. The summation of n terms is equal to the first term, 1 minus r to the n, all over 1 minus r. Some of your books, some of your teachers may use a, they may use T1 here instead of a, and they may flip this around. R to the n minus 1, r minus 1. It's okay, you can do it either way, as long as you flip both of them. Make both of them this way. This way, if this one's negative, if these two are both negative, these two are both going to be positive, it's going to work itself out either way. So just don't be confused if somebody uses this or somebody uses this. All right, I hope that helps. I've got a couple more long answer for you in a second on the next video. Bye-bye.